All right. Hi, everybody. So in honor of Mother's Day, we usually do this lecture on hair, skin, and nails to honor all the ladies, but we do believe that women shouldn't have to compromise their health for beauty. And so we're passionate about teaching women about products that we find out and about that, you know, you don't have to compromise and that are non-toxic. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about hair, skin, and nails, kind of the composition. Honestly, true beauty and true health comes from within you. So if you think about it, back in the day, the doctors used to actually look at you to determine your health factors. So they looked at the, you know, if your hair was shiny, they looked at your skin quality for the coloration of it and fine lines and different things that they could tell. They would look at your teeth, your gums, that kind of thing. So before we had all this technology, you know, they had to like observe you. And so that still holds true today. Like that's not, you know, some kind of old-fashioned thing. You still can tell a lot about your health by your appearance. So when we talk about beauty, one thing that I like to talk about first is like, well, what would be symptoms? Like we think about beauty, like is that like symptom? Like if you're lacking beauty, we don't really think about it in terms of that. Like we think like, oh, we're so vain, or we shouldn't be always thinking about our appearance and everything. But if we talk about that link, like doctors used to observe us to tell about different health factors. So symptoms actually could be things like dry skin. So we're in Florida, I think everybody's had some dry skin at some point in their life, right? Sun exposure, dehydration, the obvious, but it could be like you're not absorbing nutrients. Acne. So in our office, acne could be a number of things. It could be hormone imbalances. It actually could be bacterial or candida overgrowth. There's a number of different things. It could be, again, that the body's not absorbing nutrition or that they actually don't have enough essential fatty acids in the diet. Rosacea, hives, psoriasis, eczema, rashes, these are all common symptoms that people come into us for. And even though that might not be the priority thing that they, you know, want help with, it might be in their medical history. And so we're like, well, while we're trying to heal your gut, let's observe your skin and see if some of these symptoms go away. Then talking about hair, symptoms that your hair might reveal some kind of underlying deficiency. Thinning hair is a really common one. I always talk about this, but probably like 90% of our patients are either adrenal or thyroid insufficiency or a combination of the two. So women, often I feel like that's something, like we be stressed to our minds, not sleeping, in pain, but then our hair starts falling out and we're like, okay, that's it, I'm going to find a natural doctor because this is not tolerable, right? Like things that are provoke us to like make a change. So thinning hair is a huge one, and it is often linked to some kind of thyroid insufficiency. And then coarse or dry hair, so like if you've noticed a change in the consistency of your hair, skin, or nails, if they become more dry or brittle, you know, that kind of thing. When going on the nails, like ridges, there's a whole disgusting book in our waiting room. If you ever want to really like gross yourself out and look at pictures, you gotta be careful when it's a medical dictionary with pictures. Just be like prepared for what you might, the next page you flip could be something you really didn't ever want to see. But there's one, like I think it's probably written by like an acupuncturist, and it's how to diagnose by looking at your hair, skin, and nails. And they have all different things about ridges and the shape of your nails and things to look at your tongue. Has anybody been to an acupuncturist? So they usually tell you to stick your tongue out, and I don't really know. I'm not an acupuncturist. I don't know exactly what they're looking at, but it's fascinating how much they can tell by just sticking your tongue out. And then we don't think about this either, but a lot of people just think like, oh yeah, I'm getting some wrinkles and fine lines. It's just aging. I'm getting old. Has anybody ever said that? Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. But I'm having a little trouble. Me and age are battling a little bit right now. But even wrinkles, sometimes we can test wrinkles because that could be tied to a specific organ. Cellulite actually could tell us about estrogen metabolism. It could tell us about metabolic factors. So in our testing, which we're going to demonstrate to you guys later if you haven't experienced it yet, those are all things that we can test for. And then your normal like bruising, nails, definitely fungus nails we see often. People don't realize, they think it's just a damaged, broken nail. But if the fungus has invaded a broken nail or a damaged nail, often it's actually a systemic issue. So, does beauty really come from lotions and potions? Like, I should have looked up. I wish I did. I don't know if any of you guys know, like, any statistics on how much money we actually spend on beauty products. We do a toxicity lecture, and in the toxicity lecture, I think the statistic is that the average woman, while she's getting ready, uses like 9 to 15 different products on her body. So I always like challenge people, like during your getting ready routine, like count the number of products. And if you're not starting to make that transition into more natural, non-toxic products, well, the things that you put on directly on your skin go into your bloodstream. So Sharlie will talk about that. We can use that to our benefit, or we could use that to our detriment, right? So when we're using healing property oils, like we want them to get in our bloodstream within seconds, that's a good thing. But when it's something that might have petroleum or hormones in it, that's not a good thing. So you think of your skin as your largest organ, so you have to think about what you put on your skin, because whatever you put on it gets inside of you. And sometimes it's by accident. So you are what you eat. Has anybody ever heard that? Mm-hmm. Do you know what's actually true? Sometimes there's like these old wives' tales, right? And we don't really know if there's any truth to it. But we eat to feed our cells. And so your cells are only going to be as healthy as the quality of the nutrients that you put into them. And so, again, when we start to see early signs of aging, well, if the cells on the outside, like our skin, are aging, the same phenomenon is happening internally in your organs and your glands, and the more important, areas that actually keep you alive. So that's why we can tell a lot on the outside of the body about the internal health. So we're going to kind of break it down into skin, hair, and nails, and then I'll introduce each of our guest presenters. There's 3 different presenters tonight who all have brought good quality, non-toxic hair, skin, and nail products to our attention. So the skin, we kind of talked about this already. It's your largest organ. Did you know that you detox through your skin? Mm-hmm. Right. So your skin breathes. So not only do you absorb stuff into your skin, but you detox. So when you sweat, microscopically, your body's getting rid of toxins. So when our pores are supposed to breathe, so when we put petroleum-based products on our skin, it clogs the pores. When we put antiperspirants that are full of aluminum, it blocks our pores. And so instead of those toxins being able to get out like they're designed to do, our body holds on to them. And then our lymphatic channels, which is our natural detox, like our circulatory system that moves toxins out, starts to get stagnant and it starts to get backed up. And then those things start to cause problems in our body. So what's the closest thing to your armpit is a woman's breasts. And so that's the link between aluminum and metals and things that we use causing lymphatic stasis linked to breast cancer. So this isn't just a cutesy little lecture about, how to be beautiful and youthful. It actually is something that we can do. It's one of the biggest things. Diet is the biggest thing that we attack, and then the next thing is beauty products, and then lastly, we talk about like cleansers that we can start to clean up in our households. So if you kind of think of it in that, like, you don't have to change everything all at once, but you pick a couple of things. And even in our home, like, we're still kind of doing a clean out phase after 16 years. You pick a couple of things, and okay, the pantry, you can get rid of a couple of the carbs and find healthier snacks. You can find a face wash, like, start there, then eventually work up to the makeups, and then lastly the nails. I didn't do all this all at one time at the same time, as you drive yourself crazy and you would bust your budget for sure. But little by little, you find that now the majority of your products are natural and non-toxic, and you only have a couple of toxic things, if any, So talking about nails, some of this is really interesting. I don't think we think a whole lot about our nail health, but you have a ton of capillaries, which is blood supply to the nails. Has anybody ever hit their nail? Doesn't it hurt worse than like getting kicked in the shin? I would say like that, I probably already is, I have no idea. It should be like a form of torture. Like if your kids are mean, like just rip off their nail or something. Like they think you'll get their attention like really fast. But has anybody ever done like the acrylic nails or anything? Mm-hmm. Some of that is so painful when they take them off.
I have the S&S on.
The powder stuff. Well, when they take them off, it's like so sore. Yeah. It hurts, you know what I mean? So that's why, that's just evidence of how many capillaries are in there. That's why it hurts, because it inflames really easily. So the dead cells that make up protein is what is called keratin. Have you guys all heard the word keratin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then your nails actually also get the hardness from sulfur. So can anybody name a food that has a lot of sulfur in it?
Cabbage.
Yeah, the smelly ones.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Yeah.
If you guys are on a program, Spanish black radish, have you ever opened up a bottle of that?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, whew, you had it. Yeah.
Gave it to me.
Yes. So sulfur gives your nails their hardness. And then the shininess from your nails actually comes from fat and water. So your hydration and getting essential fats in the diet and the healthy oils is important. And then the health depends on proteins, minerals, healthy fats, and water, which we already talked about. So you really have to have a well-balanced diet. In order to be getting proteins and fats in, you've got to get some kind of healthy protein. And fats really, like we talk about this in the keto, lectures that we do. The number one food category I think that most people are missing out on is fats. And I think a lot of that is just because it's been forever ingrained in us that fats are our enemy, that fats are bad. So what I just kind of summarize it as is like not all fats are created equal. There's good fats, there's bad fats. Same with carbs. There's good carbs and there's bad carbs, right? Same with chiropractors. There's good chiropractors and bad chiropractors. See, you are listening. So you guys know what your lunula is?
No.
You know that moon-shaped thing at the bottom of your nail?
Yeah.
So you should have 8 out of 10 lunulas. So if your nails are always covered up with polish, it's hard to see. But when you unpolish them, see if you have 8 out of 10 of them. And then the hair is a very similar makeup to your nails. So the same things that would cause improvement in your nail health would improve your hair health. Okay? So then, just on the toxicity side, because this really is a non-toxic beauty lecture. Oh, here's some of the things. Women absorb 5 pounds of chemicals every year just from their cosmetics alone.
Wow.
5 pounds. So, I mean, like, if you put 5 pounds of makeup on, you'd look like a clown. Like, it would be ridiculous. Like, think of, like, how thick that would have to be. Though, kind of hard to, like, figure out the amount of makeup that exactly would be. But that's how much
5-pound bag of sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or, like, a 5-pound weight. Like, that's how
5-pound
much we absorb. Just from cosmetics. So, that's not skincare and other beauty products, What I want, one thing, if you remember one technical word from this lecture tonight, I want you to remember propylene glycol, and you'll be shocked if you go back and read your labels on some of your hair, skin, and nail products at home, how many products that are not the non-toxic natural form have this. It's actually the same constituent as antifreeze, and antifreeze is like, if your pets drink it, they die, right? It's lethal. So, for some reason, our trusted governing bodies have decided that that would be acceptable to put in the products that are allowed to be on the shelves in the stores where you purchase. So I think there's like a misconception. Sometimes we get a little numb to all this stuff, or we feel overwhelmed, or we feel like, okay, gosh, she just told us sugar's bad, and she told us all these other foods, and our water's toxic, and the air is bad. Like, you start to feel like overwhelmed and squashed by all of this information. And so, again, like, we're not trying to squash you, just with information and with empowerment, you start to take control of your situation and make the positive changes. But a third of all the personal care products are actually classified as carcinogens that are out there. So I think that misconception is that if it's allowed to be in our stores and it's on our shelves and they're allowed to sell it to us, that it must be safe for us. And what we know is that that's not necessarily true. In most cases, it isn't. So, has anybody ever heard of the EWG? Do you guys all know what that stands for?
Yeah.
So, it stands for Environmental Workers Group, and they are a nonprofit organization that classifies the safety of skincare products, foods, our home products. They're a great database for you to go in and research the products that you use on a regular basis, or even to look for brands that are safe substitutes.
And there's also an app.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Skin Deep app, and we can show it to you. We have it on our phones. It has like a barcode scanner, so if you really want to be a geek and spend like 3 hours in like CVS or in your like Publix or even Earth Fare, you can like go and scan the barcodes. And what it does is it rates the safety. Like I think it's, I don't know if it's 0 to 8 or 10. Do you know the number it goes up to?
I think it's,
Is it 10?
0 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
But it goes green, yellow,
Right.
and red.
It's kind of like green light, yellow
Yeah.
light, red light, and
Yeah.
red is the worst. What's also neat about it is it'll tell you, it'll identify why a product gets a good or a bad safety rating. So it'll tell you about the ingredients. So it's good information, and you'll start to see the same things show up on a regular basis, you know. But it'll tell you why it's rated poorly or well. I don't know if it tells you why it's rated well, but it'll tell you if it's a carcinogen or if it's an estrogen mimicker, you know, if it blocks hormones, exactly like if it's a neurotoxin, what part of your body it damages. The beauty counter, we don't have beauty counter here tonight. We did it last year. We had them here. So beauty counter is like a body product, skincare and cosmetic company, and they go by the European standards. So again, in America, we're a little bit slow, and what they've already cut out and decided are toxic products in other areas of the world, we are for some reason still allowed to purchase and have on a regular basis on the shelves. So they have a never list, and we might forward this out to you guys. Beauty Counter will be at our health fair, which is on May 25th on a Saturday. So if you want to learn more about more cosmetics and skincare products, come on out. Like, we'll have a full display of their stuff, and you can try it and have some samples and that kind of stuff. But it's really good. Their never list is a list of over, I forget how many ingredients, but it's like ingredients that they'll never ever put in their products. And again, if you start to read that list of products, you'll be shocked at, you know, seeing those on a regular basis in the labels of the regular products we get. So then what's the real solution? If we're feeling squashed at this point, and there's just like no end in sight as far as what we are and aren't allowed to purchase, the real solution is to build up your health from the inside out. So we wanted to feature a couple of nutritional products that you can get tested on your next visit for. These are things that we have in the office. They're all whole food based. There's no synthetics or fillers or binders. So it doesn't make sense in an effort to try to detoxify your medicine cabinet and, you know, your beauty products to then turn around and buy synthetic vitamins and supplements that are just adding more chemicals and, you know, artificial colors. And you read some of the labels on the supplements that are out there in the store, and it's like just as bad, if not worse, than the foods that you're eating. So that's one thing. Again, we were laughing a little bit about not all things are created equally. Well, not all supplements are created equally either. And there's a big difference between synthetic stuff that's made in a chemical laboratory to look like the whole food vitamin versus nutrition that you get from food. So I will agree with the masses all day long that the best way to get your nutrition is with food, to eat it. But if you have nutritional deficiencies and your body has problems, then the next best solution is whole food supplementation. So it's therapeutic doses of nutrients that your body is missing, but as close to nature as it was intended, with all the cofactors that make it absorbable and able for your body to recognize and use it. So collagen, this is really, has anybody used any of the collagen products? Because there's a lot of different ones. You've used some? Yeah. So there's a lot in the stores, like there's bone broth protein products and there's collagen, but a lot of them only have like 1 or 2, sometimes 3 at the most forms of collagen. So in our bodies, in our hair, skin, and nails, and in our tissues, there's at least 16 different types of collagen that have been identified. But 80 to 90% of it that exists is type 1 through 3. So you definitely want to get a collagen product that's like multi-spectrum, that has a lot of it. And so people talk about like bone broth, but if you were to make bone broth at home, it would be good to alternate the source of the bones so you're not constantly only getting beef or chicken or fish. So that's what we'll talk about. Type 1 is the most abundant and the strongest. So our bodies use that for wound healing and bone formation. So like our bones are obviously like the strongest part of our bodies. So the best source of type 1 is from beef bones. Type 2 is more like the connective tissue, which is like your joints, your muscles, your ligaments, that kind of stuff. And it's very anti-inflammatory, and it's also good for your gut and your immune health. So when people ask me about collagen, I'm like, well, what's your intention? Is it for like your hair and cellulite stuff, or is it for your gut or immune? Because that'll kind of steer us what direction we need to go in. So that type 2 that's for the gut and immune and joints is mostly from chicken and turkey. And then type 3 is for your organs and for your skin. So being the hair, skin, and nails lecture, of course, we want to know about the elasticity, the firmness, and it's also good for your blood vessels and heart, which is also your vascular support and your circulation. So like your rosacea, things like that, where people have like very reddening of the skin. So the type 3 collagen would be good for that, and that again comes from beef. Another thing, like talking about the lymphatic stasis, is the 21-day or the 28-day purification. Has anybody done that with us? Sharlie did it. Me and Sharlie have done it. So the 21-day purification, because it's a full body cellular cleanse, so it works again on the whole body. It's not just a colon cleanse or a liver cleanse or a gallbladder cleanse. So with this, it's a little different because it's going to help all of the cells. And so it's so funny because people do cleanses mostly because they want to lose weight, right? Or they do it following like a holiday or a vacation because like I just need to get back on track with my diet and kind of groove back in and hit the reset button. But a lot of people realize very quickly that their skin looks more brighter and vibrant. You know, people are like, wow, you look great. What have you done? Like, it's very visible to people after they've done a cleanse that they look and see and feel better. And then there's a whole bunch of different products in here. I'm not going to name them all. It's more just for your knowledge. And so if you are on a nutrition program, definitely come in and talk to your practitioner about testing some of these different things. A lot of them are minerals. A lot of them are fatty acids. There's even some like stem cells that we have. There's products that are anti-aging that can be used to help with the firmness and elasticity and the regrowth of the cells to make them look younger, that are very anti-aging. A lot of the anti-aging products that are on the shelves have hormones in it. So you guys might not realize that because you read a label and it doesn't say estrogen or progesterone or things that you recognize as hormones. But again, our trusted body that labels products and is in charge of that has decided that a certain percentage, like if it's 2% or less of a product that has hormones in it, that it's allowed to be in there and they don't have to disclose that on labels to you. So you could be slathering this stuff on, for decades of your life, not realizing that it's affecting your whole hormonal balance. Vitamin B's, vitamin G. Some of this is immune support, so for more people that are more acne prone, like getting the yeast and the bacteria under control is helpful. But again, it's all about getting to those underlying issues. So stepping back, not just trying to treat the symptom and asking the question why. So why are we observing these changes in hair, skin, and nails, seeing signs of distress? It could be autoimmune. So obviously autoimmune people complain about the reddening of the skin, lack of elasticity, lack of circulation, like blanching of the fingertips, very tight, like hurtful, almost painful skin. Definitely allergies, so you guys are, reddening and puffiness, the typical allergy type symptoms that you're thinking of. Hormone imbalances are definitely related to all of this stuff. Toxins, which we talked about, and food sensitivities. So if you're eating foods that your body doesn't agree with that are causing inflammation, you're definitely going to see the appearance of that on the outside. Poor lymph drainage, again, the whole circulation. If your body is not things aren't flowing the way they should be, then you get stagnation that can cause like some of the under eye puffiness or change in coloration. The gut, haven't we taught you over time that the gut's related to almost every problem on the planet, right? So your gut's like the center of the universe. Your autonomic nervous system is a big factor too. So if your body is constantly in a state of stress and it's in a state of fight or flight, then it's not healing. And so that's a big issue that we talk about with skin. Like if people are prone to wounds or rashes, or even like if you got a bite, like a bug bite, and you don't see it resolve very quickly, that can be a sign of some kind of autonomic stress. Obesity obviously can cause a change in the appearance of the skin and the elasticity. And a lot of it's also lack of oxygen. So your skin needs to breathe. That's again why we say like no petroleum products. Don't clog your pores up with antiperspirants and things that have metals in them. So then those are a bunch of different supplements and herbs and additional products that you can add to an already healthy diet and lifestyle to improve the appearance of hair, skin, and nails. But also foods. So the last part of this paper is just a list of foods. Again, you can read it at your own will. You can kind of have it to resource back to later. But it's going to be foods that address the factors above. So I'll read a couple so it just kind of makes sense. So you're not thinking about like symptomatic. So salmon is on there because it's full of those essential fats, which we said is a major constituent of hair, skin, and nails. Watermelon is actually a natural diuretic. Did you guys know that? So if you have like that puffiness and all, and there is a watermelon, I'm thinking grapefruit too, right?
Yeah,
Grapefruit helps with the lymph. Yeah. Green tea, berries, artichokes, cloves, rosemary, those are all things that are high anti-inflammatory and antioxidants. So you guys see that, like they put that all over, anti-aging, antioxidants. There's even like plant stem cells. Like these companies now are using buzzwords that they know the consumer is like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good, healthy product. I need that. And then of course all the healthy fats are going to be on there. Things that have vitamin A to help improve the retin. Retinol, you've heard of that, like dermatologists will prescribe retin A cream, which is super expensive. And you could just read the rest of the list. So any questions for me just on the supplement diet, what your hair, skin, and nails are made of? That was I was just the boring science person today. So we're going to go into the guest presenters. Alina, are you going to go next?
Yeah.
So Alina is my hairstylist. I've been going to her salon, I don't know, for a year now?
Almost a year now, yeah.
I think so. And I met her through the Trailblazers. April and Stephanie, some of my BFFs, go to her and introduced her to me, and I'm glad. She's probably like the fifth stylist. I'm from New York, so what you don't know is that if you are a New Yorker with curly hair and you move to Florida, you quickly find out that you don't know what in the world you're going to do. And I almost threw in the towel on natural hair products because I wasn't going to be a big puff head the rest of my life. I didn't really know what to do, and Alina saved me. So it's really nice. Her salon, I like to promote her because she really has, a whole body. Health comes from within mentality. She's studying to be an aromatherapist. She's going to talk to you a little bit about that today too. But she's always interested in bringing like healthy natural products into her practice, as well as just taking care of you and pampering you when you're there. So it's not a high volume place. There's no fluorescent lights. It's calm and relaxing and beautiful. Oftentimes you're the only person there and you can just relax and enjoy the process instead of like being in a fluorescent lit gossip fest is all I can say. That's what your competition is. So you should do like really, really super well. So I'm gonna let her take the stage. I moved your table, so I don't know if you need to move
that's
a little
perfectly fine. We're not gonna we're gonna.
Okay.
You know me. I like to sit down and get personal and intimate.
I give you Alina.
Hello, thank you. First of all, thank you guys so much for being here today. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here to speak with you guys. Just to give you a little bit of history about myself, I have been a cosmetologist for about 16 years now, and 14 out of those 16 years I have been an international platform artist for Alpha Park Milano, as well as a national platform artist for L'Oreal Professional. So the majority of my career was educating other hairdressers on how to properly mix chemicals and creating colors and reading, certain people's underlying pigments, how that reacts, with the chemicals that they're using, color corrections, and the whole 9 yards. So I say former because I became a mom, and that's when the whole awakening process happened. So when I say awakening process, I went through exactly that and still going through that awakening process, and we can talk about that later if you'd like. And that's where I started to get introduced, or started to pay attention more to natural products and the constituents of what I was using, and started to really dive deeper and look into my clients' scalps and their reactions that they were having. Because what ends up happening is people will come and sit in my chair, they'll bring in a Pinterest, photo, I want this, and I'm going, okay, this is going to take a process, or, we're in this instant gratification mentality in this world nowadays, and to be able to create something without frying your hair is my number one priority. But the other thing that I noticed that the people were not being truthful, they weren't being honest, because they were so used to what these chemicals do to you that they considered it normal. It is not normal. It is not normal to feel pain and burning on your scalp when you're getting your hair colored in. That is not normal. It is not normal to have your hair color turn be unpredictable. So, for example, I'm applying the same formula on a client. Hasn't changed in over 10 years. Hasn't changed in over 10 years, and all of a sudden, in the first 5 minutes of that color application, her hair is turning purple. She's blonde. So what's changed? She failed to mention to me that 2 months prior, she went under surgery, and now her body is cleansing the anesthesia that was in her system, and the chemical reaction between the anesthesia cleansing from her body was reacting with my chemicals that I was putting on top. Thank God I was able to notice that quickly and rinsed her off, and here's some great touch-up spray, sweetheart. Come back and talk to me, a month later when the anesthesia is out of the body. So what Dr. Christie was mentioning earlier, that everything that you put into your body comes out in your hair, your skin, and your nails. Those are your body's tells. That is what's telling you something's up, something's going on inside. So there are 3 stages of damage, or 3 things that we look at as hairdressers, is chemical damage, mechanical damage, environmental damage. But taking that one step further and going into the holistic route is looking at any kind of emotional or health issues that are going on inside and working with that and working forward. Your lymphatic system runs throughout your entire body, but the majority of your lymphatics is actually found in the head and in the scalp. So by giving a good scalp massage, rubbing yourself, tickling, bringing everything into the heart helps with that circulation and helps you to release any of the toxins that you're holding on within. So it's really important that when you go to your hairdresser that you talk. We are not clairvoyant. We cannot read your mind. And if you cannot speak to your hairdresser, if you cannot be honest, then it's time for you to find someone that you can be honest with, because something horrible can happen if we don't know what's going on within. So to move more into the natural remedies, going back as when I had my moment of awakening and started my process of becoming an aromatherapist, is I started to find out what aromatherapy really is. And basically aromatherapy is holistic healing using aromatic constituents, and we will actually receive more of the constituents with essential oils through inhalation. 20% of what we inhale is going to actually pass through the blood-brain barrier, which is the thin mucus that connects the nose to the brain, and 20% of the constituents will actually get into our bloodstream versus topical. So you think about when you pick up a product, the first thing you do is you open it up and you take a nice little whiff at it. You take a smell out of it. Well, that right there has now triggered something for you. It's either triggered a positive memory or a negative memory. It's put you in a state of relaxation or puts you in a state of anxiety. So your sense, what you smell, has a lot to do with how your body responds. So the olfactory cortex, like I said, 20% of that actually enters the bloodstream. Well, if you apply something topically, only 8 to 10% will reach in the bloodstream. Like Dr. Christie was saying, everything happens inside. So how do we get healthy hair? Starts from the inside, starts through the bloodstream. Because guess what? Your hair is dead when it comes out. How can you avoid damaging your hair? It's the less you do, the better. Soaps are actually the worst thing you can do for yourself. Your soaps are going to be stripping out all of the natural oils that you are producing. Those are God's conditioning agents to you. Those are, universe's protectant, is the own natural oils that you produce. So by using something that is high in lipophilic molecules, like a sulfate type of shampoo, it's going to strip away what you naturally have. So it's actually best to avoid using shampoos. But we have been so conditioned after so long that the only way to have clean hair is to use a soap. But I'm sure Charlie's going to come in and let you guys know as well that oils have natural constituents as astringents. Oils are lipophilic molecules. Oils attract to other oils and remove. So by actually switching from a shampoo to an actual sugar scrub that we're going to be making today, you can actually use oils for your benefit to strip away all of the extra that you don't need and allow your body to not only absorb the positive oils, but also with that nice fragrance and aromatherapy that you'll be doing in the shower, get it into the bloodstream much quicker and help you repair from the inside out. So carrier oils. We're going to be working today with 3 different carrier oils. I already have one that's mixed, which is going to be your sunflower and cocoa. And I don't have this printed out, but your sunflower seed oil is an anti-inflammatory. It reduces redness. It's filled with omega-6 and fatty acids, also vitamin E. And it enhances new skin development. So sunflower seed oil also has a comedogenic of 0 to 2. So what's a comedogenic rating? That means it doesn't clog your pores. So this is an oil that you can actually put on your skin topically that isn't going to clog your pores. Because we've all heard, oils are horrible, don't get it on your skin, on your scalp, it'll clog your pores. Not in this case. Another oil, and my favorite oil to use, is avocado oil. Again, vitamin E, potassium, fatty acids. It's a wound healing oil as well. It's one of the few oils that will actually penetrate the hair shaft and go into the cortex of the hair and moisturize from the inside out. This one is suitable for any acne-prone skin because, again, with that vitamin E and with those fatty acids, it's going to help remove that over buildup of oil and sebum that you're producing, and it's actually amazing for treating eczema and psoriasis. The comedogenic rating on avocado oil is actually a 3. So it's a little bit higher. So if you have extra oily skin, you want to avoid using avocado, but it's something that you won't want to be using during the day, but more something that you would want to use at night so you're not producing as much sweat, if that makes sense. Another favorite of mine is sweet almond oil. That's one of the ones that I use a lot in my formulations at the studio because, again, vitamin E and vitamin A packed. It helps reduce acne due to its emollient properties. And it's suitable for sensitive skin, and it's great for regenerating skin cells. And also, this is the best part, it's a UVA and UVB protected. Natural UVA and UVB protected. Another natural sun SPF is carrot seed oil. Carrot seed oil has a natural SPF of 20 to 30. And raspberry seed oil has a natural SPF of 30 to 50. So instead of going to the grocery store and buying, whatever chemical-filled SPF, I'm sure that DoTERRA has them, that you can order your own and custom blend your own oils with your own recipe that is going to work for your skin type, because not everyone has the same skin type. So this is where having your small little apothecary at home is going to be worth it because of the shelf life. Your storage of oils can last years, anywhere between 2 to 3 years, as long as they're stored in dark bottles out of the sun and in a cool environment. So think about, yes, the investment in the beginning is pretty high, but think of the long run when you're able to custom blend your own medicine and your own skincare. Coconut oil. Coconut oil is so trendy right now. It's amazing. It hydrates the skin to up to 24 hours. It helps improve skin elasticity and collagen production. Vitamin E and vitamin A. Antimicrobial properties. It's a skin protectant, but steer clear from your face. Comedogenic rating of 4. So what I have been taught in school is that coconut oil is a great protectant, is a great barrier. So it's something that I would most definitely want to mix my, SPF oils with, because since it's a thick molecule, it's going to sit and hold your constituents on the surface of the skin, so that the constituents have enough time to actually be absorbed in the skin, versus the other carrier oils that I discussed, like avocado or sweet almond, that it's a finer molecular structure that oil itself will actually be absorbed in the skin, versus the coconut oil that will sit on top. So when it comes to picking your carrier oils, most definitely look them up, and molecular structure of these oils are going to determine how much absorption you're going to get from them. So with your dilution percentages, this is going to help right in front of you when we're going to make our sugar scrubs. We're going to do an ounce of a sugar scrub, but what you have in front of you on your piece of paper is enough to make 4 ounces. So you have a 4 ounce formula in front of you, but I'm going to talk you through your 1 ounce. We're going to do a 2% dilution. So that's going to be 10 to 12 drops of carrier oil per ounce, 10 to 12 drops of essential oil per ounce of carrier oil. And in front of you, we've got some oils, and I have some more if you guys would like to use some other ones. In front of you, you guys have lavender and sandalwood, as well as some patchouli. And those constituents, here we have some avocado oil, as well as sun cocoa. Sun cocoa is sunflower seed oil and coconut oil. When you're looking for carrier oils, you want to make sure that they are cold pressed, because when you are making any kind of formulation, these oils do have what we like to call a flash point. So after these oils heat up past 110 to some oils at 110, others to 160, it flashes it, and you have lost all of the constituents in your oil. So what you're going to do with your oil, you guys can pick it out, is you're going to fill up your jar to right above your sugar.
There was a spider.
Oh, I was like, what's going on?
There's a spider. I just went. I don't know if it's dead or not. Oh, there it is. There you go. No, it's dead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, spider. So you're going to fill up slowly to right above your sugar scrub. So if you see, it looks like you have about 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. We want to fill up 1/4 of an inch of oil. So would you like to use a avocado oil? Okay. So can I use yours as an example? I'll give you a new one. So I'm going to fill up right above to where it matches. So you see how I've got about 1/4 of an inch of sugar to 1/4 of an inch of my carrier. I'm going to pass that along. And there's some over here as well. And then before your sugar gets completely soaked up with your carrier oil, go ahead and drop in your essential oil. So you have 10 drops that you can use, so you can mix them however way you'd like. You can do 10 drops of lavender and you're good, or you can do 5 of lavender and 5 of patchouli, however you guys want to mix it. And another oil that I have with me, and this actually comes from the school that I'm studying at. If you are interested in herbalism and aromatherapy and want some in-depth training, the Holistic School North Florida over in King Street is where I attend, and I have CBD oil with me. So if you want to drop CBD oil in there, just a little drop is going to be sufficient enough to add into it. And is anybody familiar with CBD and how that works? Yeah?
Yeah, I did a little, went to a presentation
Okay.
on CBD. And I know that, you know, CBD can, there's 2 types, isn't there? There's one that has the little THC in it.
There's a full spectrum and then an isolate.
And then they have one where absolutely no, you know,
No
THC,
THC. Yes.
not in there. So, yeah, right now I'm doing hemp. Like I eat a lot of hemp seeds and
Oh, beautiful.
stuff. Yeah, so that helps.
So basically the beautiful thing about CBD is it's a cannabinoid receptor. We have cannabinoid receptors in our body, naturally. So when we incorporate CBD into our regimen, what that is going to do is that it's going to go to those CBD receptors that are needing an extra boost. So it's what's going to balance out your body. So it's not going to get you high, it's not going to make you see little gremlins in a corner, anything like that. What it's going to do, it's going to find where your cannabinoid receptors are lacking, and then join up with them to balance your system out. So we think about a sugar scrub just for our face and body, but we forget that our scalp is actually a part of that large organ. So what this is going to do, and with the oils that we have chosen today, I recommend doing a sugar scrub once a week. And what that is going to do, it's going to remove any buildup that you have on your scalp. If you're suffering from eczema or psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis, concentrate that in that one area. Apply this while you're in the shower. The reason why we want to be in the shower is because it's nice and steamy, it's opening up our pores, and it's allowing for those constituents to actually drive into the scalp, as well as using your olfactory system, because with that steam you have now created a little bit of diffusing aspect going on, and you'd be able to actually get those constituents further in. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I do. So how
Yeah,
much you're gonna be using, like the entire thing, or just a little bit?
No,
or
you're gonna
what?
just use enough, probably about quarter size amount, and just work it through your scalp. When you're done, personally, I do not shampoo my hair afterwards. I leave it in, I rinse it out with nice warm water, or nice hot water, and I leave it in, and that's my shampoo and my conditioner, and I do that once a week. Now I've also been training my scalp for this. I am now teaching my body that we're not using soap anymore. We're using oils to cleanse now. So it did take about 3 weeks for my body to go, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. Because we have to take oils back biblical times, before there were soaps, before there was emulsifying and blenders and this and that. How people cleanse themselves were with herbs and with oils. They basically took massive tea baths with rosemary. Rosemary is a beautiful astringent.
So what is your hair gonna look like if you don't?
I'm sorry?
What is your hair gonna look like then if you're just using oil? Like, does it leave it?
It balances
oily?
out. No, it
No.
balances itself out.
Okay.
I treat my hair once a week.
Okay.
I treat my hair once a week.
Would you say initially, maybe your question is, initially it might look a little
Oh,
until,
yes.
until your
Okay,
body
that's what I'm.
Yeah. That's what they'll take a time for your body to balance itself out. Because basically when you're applying all of those oils onto your skin, you're telling your body you're not producing enough. Why are you putting something foreign on me? Well, if you're putting something foreign on me, it's because I'm not doing my job. So it starts overproducing it. But if I continue on with it, it goes, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. All right, my skin starts to absorb all of those constituents from the oils that I'm using, and it starts to balance itself out. Now I have curly hair, so to me, you know, it was much quicker, but with finer hair, it'll probably take about 3 to 4 weeks for your body to finally figure it out. Yeah.
What about apple cider vinegar rinse?
It's a great astringent. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's good for your hair. And, you know, if you do the natural and put oil and then you rinse it with the vinegar.
Exactly.
That,
yes,
yeah?
absolutely.
Okay.
Because then that vinegar is going to take away any of the extra oils that you have in there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Yeah.
I've never heard of turbinado sugar.
Turbinado sugar. So it's just raw, unbleached sugar. Yeah. And what I did with mine is I actually grinded mine up for you guys because in case anybody had sensitive skin, that way you wouldn't be abrasing yourselves if you decided to use it on your face. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to transfer it on over.
Thank you very much.
We guys have you on information overload, but hopefully you're going to take away some really beautiful nuggets on how to clean up your natural skincare and take care of the biggest organ on your body, right? We've talked about that 100 times, but if you splayed your skin out, it would be 18 or more square feet that you're putting chemicals on, and that sugar bag is a beautiful image, a 5-pound bag of sugar of chemicals, you know, just soaking into the skin. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Sharlie. I'm a practitioner here. And my journey really started, I grew up with a mom who really cared about natural health and wellness. I knew not to eat partially hydrogenated oils. I've been hearing that word my whole life. Different things like that. And then I got into essential oils because I wanted natural remedies for my family at my fingertips. A lot of people think that aromatherapy is just because it smells good, and it does smell really good. But the oils themselves, if you have true, pure oils, they have therapeutic benefits to them that the body can utilize to heal itself. And so I was really, really heavily into essential oils and kept my husband from he was getting pneumonia twice a year. Now he never gets pneumonia. There's different things that I literally use essential oils from waking until going to bed, and I don't know how I did life prior to them. But they're a huge part of my life. But in that journey, I also learned that there were still, like the things we've been talking about tonight, if your hair is falling out, there's a nutritional deficiency going on either with your endocrine system, or there might be a mineral deficiency of iron, but which one is it? You know, which one is the deficiency causing the hair falling out? And so I kept running into people. I'd be like, I know this essential oil blend with these different carriers that Alina was talking about are going to help your eczema on the surface, and it's going to get better, but there's something going on the inside that you need to address that's causing it to come out. Because we say the skin is the third chimney. The first chimney is your bladder and your bowels. And so the toxins and things that are coming into our body, if you're optimally functioning or functioning at optimum, should be eliminated through your bladder and your bowels. But if you're not, then we move to the kidneys and the bladder. And if those aren't functioning at optimum, then it comes out the skin. So then when people come into our office, it's the skin that's alarmed them, right? Well, now I have eczema. We're like, you're going to have to hold tight because that's like the final red flag. Something's been going on for a while to cause this issue on the skin. So it's gone through all those chimneys, right? And so it's the final flag of surrender from your body that something's going on a much deeper level. And so that's what brought me to nutrition response testing. I knew I was helping people. I'm super passionate about giving you the tools to have in your home so that when your child wakes up with an upset stomach, you have something in the middle of the night to rub on their belly to help them, where you don't need a nutrition practitioner for that. But then I knew at the end of the day that people still needed to fix the inside that was affecting the hair, skin, nails, and all those other things as well, right? So what's really cool about essential oils is that they are very versatile. Alina was mentioning the word constituents. That's the molecules or the chemical makeup of the oil, and there's one oil can have hundreds of different compounds or constituents that the body could use, and they have them in different ratios in each oil. And so what's really cool is you might see on the list of recipes I gave you that, you know, lavender is good for this, but it's also good for that, and it's also good for this. A lot of the properties overlap because of the constituents that are in the oils. So one oil that you might be using for anti-aging on your skin might also be helping your immune system, or it might be helping with your cellular health, you know, having healthy cells in the body. So that's what's so cool about essential oils. One oil can be impacting so many systems in the body, which is fascinating. So you'll see like, oh, I bought this for my skin, but I can actually use it for this immune challenge that's coming about. So down at the bottom, you'll see I start to list the top 12 essential oils for hair, skin, and nails. And we'll run through some of the properties of those. You could go on and on and on studying one oil for hours and hours, or maybe that's just me and Alina probably could nerd out over an essential oil textbook. It's like, it's good for this and this. But frankincense, we think of it as the regenerator because it blocks communication between unhealthy cells and it supports the communication between healthy cells. So it's the cell regenerator and supporting healthy cells. So think about that when you think about wrinkles and anti-inflammatory properties. Copaiba is one of my favorite. It has very strong antibacterial properties to it. It's a BCP, which is in the cannabinoid family. So I love it for acne. I can put it on a pimple and it's dry the next morning, like cleared up. And there are other oils that have helped me some, but this has been my absolute favorite for breakouts. It also promotes collagen production, and who doesn't want that? So you can go to the back. Lavender is one of the oils you guys mixed into your sugar scrubs. Many of you, I'm sure, think of lavender as the soothing oil, the relaxing oil, and it is all those things. It has 3 very powerful antioxidants in it that help with free radical damage in the body. So you're treating your scalp well by adding that in there. Geranium is known for oil balancing. So just what we've been talking about tonight, it helps when you start to train your body to not have to make so much oil if you're taking care of it properly. Geranium is an oil that helps your body in that balancing process. So it's good for unclogging those pores and all of those things. Oil loves oil because oils are oil soluble. Rose is the queen of all the oils. They call geranium the poor man's rose. I forget, it's like 28,000 petals or something to make 1 5 ml bottle of rose. It's a lot, like a lot of rose petals. So you can also use geranium as the poor man's rose. But rose is really fascinating to watch. I have a rose oil I've been using on my skin, and I have these fine red capillaries I get on my face, and it has significantly reduced those in my skin, and it's been fun to watch that happen. So it reduces redness, so it's helping with blood flow, healing those properties. Melaleuca is an astringent and antiseptic, so it's really good. Think cleaning. Melaleuca cleans wounds, cleans scalps, cleans anything that needs to be cleaned out. It's antibacterial. Lemon is wonderful for so many things. I could talk about it for lymphatic drainage or cleansing the skin, but lemon is also very antiseptic, antibacterial. But be cautious with citrus oils. When you go in the sun, they do make you more photosensitive. So like if you do a sugar scrub that has citrus in it and you go to bed, it's not a big deal. But they say to try and refrain from being in straight sun for within a 12-hour window of having citrus oils directly on your skin. It can make you more susceptible to burning. So myrrh is known for retaining moisture in the skin. It's antiviral also, but it's known in skincare for supporting dry skin and fine lines. Cypress is good for blood circulation. I love cypress for anytime you're trying to bring circulation to the hands and the feet, tissues that aren't getting enough blood flow. Cypress is amazing. doTERRA has a blend called Aromatouch that has cypress in it, and it's fabulous for massage because it's helping the muscles, it's helping blood flow, lymphatic drainage. It's a wonderful blend. Grapefruit, which we had out and about tonight too, boosts circulation. It tones the skin. In the essential oil world, it's known for being a cellulite reducer, and the way that it does that is it's helping pull toxins out of fat cells and out of the lymphatic system, and so that's how it reduces cellulite. But it's another one you can add to body scrubs and massage into your legs and things like that. Helichrysum is another queen oil, very expensive to make or produce, but it's similar properties to a chamomile, and it's gentle and calming to the skin. A lot of people use it for dark circles or discoloration in the skin. And rosemary is the last one I have listed on here. That's also recommended often for stimulating hair growth, thickening the hair. So it's that's why you see it in a lot of natural hair care products, because of that property. Really good for dandruff and circulation to the skin. The last one I don't have listed because it's a new oil too, doTERRA, is called Yarrow Palm. And yarrow is incredible, and I've been adding it to everything. It's really helped, it helps block the enzyme that starts breaking down collagen, and so I've seen a huge difference in my skin by using the Yarrow Palm topically. There's a couple of things, I gave you lots of fun recipes to use. doTERRA has wonderful blends already made up. The Immortelle blend in a roller bottle, it is pure. There's no carrier oil mixed into this roller, so it is really strong, so it could be diluted and you could get a lot more out of it. But it's frankincense, sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum, rose, all the beautiful oils we've talked about tonight. And then I give you cellulite support recipes, sunburn. There's an HD Clear Acne blend that they put together for the skin, and you can go through and see all the different recipes you can make with doTERRA essential oils. And just to go with that, not all oils are created equally, and so a lot of people will say, well, I went to whatever, the Whole Foods store, and I picked up this oil and it didn't do anything, or it felt really greasy. And that was my experience growing up. My mom bought me tea tree oil and I put it on my acne and it was like greasy, and so I always had this idea that essential oils would make my skin more oily, and they like terrified me to put them on my skin. But if you're buying truly pure oils that have not been adulterated or had other things added to it, they should not be greasy, and they should be able to absorb into the skin, and the cells should be able to start using them immediately. So purity does matter. If you want to get the efficacy that you're looking for from the oils, is to make sure that you are buying a quality oil. And that's all I have for essential oils. If any of you were, are you going to come speak about nails, Marissa?
Sure.
All right, and then Marissa's going to come on and talk about Gelmoments.
Okay, so I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to school for anything. So I'm very untechnical. So I was the kind of person that I have 3 kids, whatever, no time, and never did my nails. Had 0 interest, and then my friends started selling Gelmoments, and I was like, fine, I'll buy it just to support you. So I bought it, and it sat there for about 2 months. And then one day my 2 older girls were asking to have their nails done, so I was like, fine, I'll pull it out, and I pulled it out, and it was super easy to do. So I did it for myself, and then I just realized how easy it was to actually do it. So since then, this is actually the first day I've not had nail polish on my nails for probably 4 months since I was introduced to it. Prior to that, I can tell you I had my nails painted twice probably in 3 years. So I just love how simple it is, and that's really it for me. But on the other side of it, I've been trying to become more aware of what I'm putting on my skin. So I love that it's non-toxic. So again, I don't know what I'm talking about really. So it's they say that they're 5-free is what it's called. So no, and I'm sorry if I'm saying these wrong. No toluene, no diethylphthalate, no formaldehyde resin, and no camphor. So, for instance, like formaldehyde. Have you ever had your nail polish done and you didn't take it off in a timely manner, and then when you finally took it off, it was kind of yellow? That's from the formaldehyde. So, by not having those toxins, I actually had my toenails I think it was like 2.5 months. And I finally took it off and it wasn't yellow. I was shocked. And that was just from pure laziness and I liked the color. So, but so simply you would do what you normally would. So you cut them and then file them, and then use a cleanser. And just one cleanser is good for all of your nails if you want to do it all one time, so you don't use a lot. And then you would take your polish and you put it on very lightly. I didn't have it on today, so I could show you guys. Only I didn't realize that it would be so far away from a thing. But so you just put it one all the way down, just exactly how they do it at your nail salon, and to the side. And then you want to make sure you cap it. That's the major thing, is you cap the top. And then you would stick it in and turn on the lamp, and it's 1 minute and it's dry and you can do anything. I've put my hand in my pocket. I mean, it's just amazing how quickly you can do it, because like I said, I have 3 kids. I don't have time to sit there like this. And it's great for the kids. My 2.5-year-old was just like waiting for the light to turn off. She's like, it's done. So it's super easy to use. And to take it off, you can't just do this, but to take off, there's removers that are very similar to this. You just open it, stick it on, let it wait, and then you very lightly would scrape it off. If it does not come off very lightly, put it back on again. So you don't want to do it rough, because then it can hurt your nails. Like if you have your nails done in a nail salon, you'll know that it gets dry and brittle, and so you definitely want to avoid that. There are some nail care products. So there's a Revitalize, which helps with microcirculation, and it leaves your nails and cuticles just healthier, stronger, that kind of thing. There's a Fortify that's to strengthen, or whatever the issue is. That's it. I don't know. Do you want to speak to anything more?
Yeah, I'll just close off the video and then we'll go from there. Thank you for joining us tonight live. If you guys are at home, we'll have these handouts in the office for you to review. And then also let us know if you did watch it at home, so we can make sure that you get credit for it. But thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks.